Ms. Osborne, you have brought your mother to court because you claim she lied to you about the identity of your biological father. You are here to prove Billy Jack Fitzmaurice is your dad. You and your aunt petitioned the court for paternity tests to finally prove the truth. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Osborne, you admit your daughter believed that Mr. Fitzmaurice was her dad, but now stand in court to prove that another man is her biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Osborne, how did we get to this point that you have to bring your mother to court?
Well, I've always grew up thinking that Billy was my father and that I resembled him. And I even moved in with my dad's side of the family. And then all of a sudden, when I was about 12, I got told otherwise.
What happened when you were 12?
We were just sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden, she looks at me, she says, you know, there's a possibility that another man could be your father.
And what was your reaction?
At the moment, I didn't know what to do. I kind of just left the room and went and called my aunt.
And your aunt, Ms. Brooks?
Yes.
Ms. Brooks, do you remember that call?
Yes, I do.
What happened?
Savannah was very upset because she thought that Billy, my brother, was not her father. And I assured her that I believe 100% that Billy is her father.
You've never had a doubt?
I've never had a doubt.
So until you were 12 years old, Ms. Osborne, you were told this was your father?
Yes,
You even
Your
lived
Honor.
with his family?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Osborne, when your daughter was 12, you told her that someone else could be her biological father?
Yes, I told her that another guy could be her father, but I never told her that Billy Jack was her father.
How did she think he was?
Because his family put in her head that he was her father. And I just kind of went with it.
Wait a minute. So, for 12 years, who were you saying was her biological father?
I didn't say who was her father.
But she's living with his family.
Yes, and at the time, his family took her in. I was young, and I knew that they would have a good life for her, and they stepped up and asked to take her, and I knew that they could provide a better life for her at that time because I was young and naive and stupid. So I let them take and raise her. I've been in her life, and I've done things for her, and I'm here today just to put things at rest. So she'll know who her biological father really is. And I believe it's the other guy.
Tell me about the relationship with the other guy. Why do you think it's his?
Because I was back and forth between the two. And I was with the other guy a lot more than I was with Billy Jack.
During the window of conception, you were sleeping with both men?
Yes, Your Honor. But I just feel in my heart that the other guy is her father.
So both can potentially be her biological father. You understand that, right, Miss Osborne, Savannah?
Yes.
And I see you can't even look at your mother right now. You're not even turning your head.
Because I just want to know the truth of who my father is. I shouldn't have to wait until I was 12 years old to figure this out. I should have known that there was not a possibility before I grew attached to my father and grew a bond with my whole family.
Your mom kind of dropped a bomb on you at 12 years old. Wow. I mean, when you hear that, and you had to live with this now for 8 years. You're 20 now.
8 years now.
This must hurt you very much.
Yes, it does.
Because this is your mother, and you're relying on your mother to tell you the truth.
Yes, I would always expect her to.
So, Savannah, when you hear your mother speak, and she says that she just allowed them to believe what they wanted to believe because she wanted to make sure you were safe. I know it's hard for you, but look at your mother and just tell her what that feels like.
It really feels horrible to not know who my real father is. And after growing all these years, to believe somebody else was my father, and it couldn't be.
I am sorry, Savannah. You was young. When you was 12, I figured that you was old enough to be able to handle it. When you was young, you wouldn't have been able to handle it as well at 9 or 10 as you would at 12 and 13. So I waited to help you because I didn't know how you would react being so young and me telling you that, if it would confuse you more.
But tell her, Savannah, at 12, how that made you feel.
I was confused. I was 12 years old. I was raised around my dad's family for 12 years. And then all of a sudden, they could be just some strangers that I'm living with.
They will never be strangers.
Of course they won't. They'll always be my family now. But what if they never were?
I'm sorry. I truly am. But I'm here today to try to make it right for you. So you will know 100% if he's your father or if the other guy's your father. I was young and I was stupid and I just wanted the best for you. And so, yes, I swallowed my pride and I did let them take you in because I knew that they could provide a better life for you than what I could at that age. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry that I've put you through hurt because I've never wanted to hurt you, ever. Sorry.
Because 8 years later, I still have to wonder.
But at the end of the day, it must hurt that you had to drag your mother to court today.
Yes, it really does, but I need to know the truth. I was brought up on a lie. I have to know.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Miss Brooks, I see this, you have tears in your eyes as you stand next to
because
the young woman you believe is your niece.
Yes, Savannah is my niece, and I love her dearly. And we were always told from day one from Donna that Savannah was our I call her our baby, but our niece. The way we met Donna was under difficult circumstances. My brother, he had a wild life. He liked fast cars, fast women, fast money, you know, anything to do with that kind of behavior, that's what he liked. So when he brought Donna home, we were a little shocked because at the time she was working as a stripper and we didn't know, you know, what to believe, but we believed my brother and Donna both when they said that Billy was her biological father, that she was pregnant with Savannah and that was our family.
But you don't remember telling them any of this, Miss Osborne?
No, Your Honor. Billy Jack is the one that took it upon himself to assume that Savannah was his when I told him I was pregnant. I had told both men that I was pregnant, and they took it upon themselves to believe if they was the father or not.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is true.
She told me as well that Savannah was my brother's daughter.
Those words never came out of my mouth.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
If you didn't think he was the father of her, why did we raise her? Why did our family step in and raise her?
At that point in time, you know that I was unstable, and you guys were a great family. And I knew that you would love and take care of Savannah the way she needed to be taken care of. And I couldn't provide that for her at that point in time. I was young and stupid. And, you know, I regret a lot of things that I did in life, but, you know, I've grown since then. And I'm trying to be there for my kids now even, because I want her to know if, in fact, your brother is her father or if the other guy is her father.
Have you ever gotten to know this other man that your mom says could potentially be your biological father?
I have met him. I do not have a connection with him whatsoever. He is the father of my sister and my brothers, but I wouldn't want that to be my father. I want Billy to be my father because that's who I have always known to be my father, and it's gonna really hurt if it's otherwise.
So your sister, you say it was fathered by the other man.
That's what I was told, but I also believe that my dad is her dad because we share way too many similarities.
You know what? She's here, so I'd like to hear from her. Ron, can you please escort her in?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go up to the witness stand right next to the judge.
Ms. Patton, thank you for joining us. There's actually been testimony that contradicts what I believe you were told. Who do you believe is your father?
I believe that the other guy is my father because, I mean, I've never met Billy Jack. I've never even seen him. I've just heard stories of his crimes and crazy lifestyle. I have a connection, a relationship with my father or the other guy. And
You do?
And his family, yeah.
Who do you believe Savannah's biological father is?
I'm not sure. I grew up believing that Billy Jack was her dad, the same as her.
So growing up, you just felt like I have a sister, but we have two different fathers.
Yeah.
I also believe Billy could be her father.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
Because at the time that Donna conceived Miss Patton, she was also with my brother, back and forth between my brother and the other man. And I see similarities between Mrs. Patton and this is his other daughter here, Marissa, and Savannah.
Miss Osborne, your daughter, Miss Patton, testified that she believed this other guy was her father her whole life.
Yes.
Do you believe there's potential that Billy Jack could be her biological father as well?
I mean, I was back and forth between the two at that stage of my life, but I don't believe that Billy's her father. I believe
Why?
that the other guy is.
Why?
The same reason I believe that he is Savannah's father, because they look a lot like the other guy.
But you admit that you were intimate with Billy
Both. Yes.
during the window of her conception as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is very interesting. I mean, because as this young girl, you were just in a place in your life where you weren't making great decisions.
No, I wasn't, Your Honor.
And you have these beautiful girls, and you have to find families for them pretty much.
Yes, and I was in a very bad relationship at that point in time. And when she was born, and I knew she'd be better off with my family. And I've been there in their lives, all of their lives. I've never walked out on them or abandoned them, but my family did, in fact, raise them with me, and I'm thankful every day for my family and Mrs. Brooks' family for doing such a great job with my children, what I couldn't provide for them then.
So you never told Jasmine that Billy Jack could potentially be her father, ever? Never
No.
mentioned it?
No.
But why is it at 12 then you felt like you should tell Savannah?
Because Savannah believed more that Billy Jack was her father
He
than
is her father.
Jasmine. And I just didn't want her to end up finding out he wasn't and being mad at me for not at least giving her the opportunity to know who her real biological father is.
What do you want to get out of today's results besides just, of course, finding out the truth?
I don't want her to have to lie to me anymore. And I want to have a better bond with my mom. But until I know the truth, I don't think that's going to happen.
And I also would like to say this is dividing our family, so we need to know the truth. And, you know, Jasmine could also be my brother's child.
Well, it seems like the stakes are very high. We've got a mother-daughter relationship on the line, in addition to a father-daughter and the family that raised her.
Yes.
I have the results for you. I think it's time.
You have two.
We have two results. The results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics. The first is for Jasmine. Jasmine, are you ready?
As ready as I can get.
Because the DNA of Mr. Billy Jack Fitzmaurice was unavailable to test for biological relatedness, an avuncular test with the closest biological relative, his sister, Anastasia Stacy Brooks, was performed. With that being said, the results determine if there is a viable relationship between Jasmine Patton and Anastasia Stacy Brooks. In the case of Osborne Brooks versus Osborne Patton, when it comes to 19-year-old Jasmine Patton, it has been determined by this court Ms. Brooks and Jasmine are not related. Miss Osborne, you look relieved.
Yes, I'm relieved because Jasmine's had a relationship with the other guy and his family, and I didn't want that to change. And I'm really kind of hoping Savannah is Billy's, because it scares me that maybe the relationship between them would change if she's not.
You're hoping he is, but you don't believe he is.
Right.
Are you ready, Savannah?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Just as in the case with your sister Jasmine, the results determine if there is a viable relationship between Savannah Osborne and Anastasia Stacy Brooks. When it comes to 20-year-old Savannah Osborne. It has been determined by this court, Ms. Brooks and Savannah are related.
I love you, Savannah, so much. And I'm so happy that it came out the way you wanted it. And I love you, Jasmine.
I love you too, Mom. I love you too.
Ms. Parker, in your suit, you claim Mr. Morton fathered your 7-month-old son, Aaron, while in a relationship with his current girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say the only reason he denies paternity is because his girlfriend turned him against you because she's been unable to conceive a child with him.
Yes, Your Honor.
In addition to the paternity test, you're suing for $2,047 in back child expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Morton, you say the timing of Miss Parker's pregnancy doesn't add up, and when today's DNA results come in, you will win the case because you're not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Parker, how did you end up having sex with Mr. Morton if he has a girlfriend?
First of all, Your Honor, that's my baby father. Anytime I want to have sex with him, I'm going to have sex with him. You understand? Like, I was vulnerable. He called me. So, you know, we did what we did.
So, hold on. You have a child with Mr. Morton.
Yes, I have a
already.
5-year-old son.
And he's not the child in question.
No, Aaron is.
But you also still continued a sexual relationship.
Yes, with the both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah.
You were having
We've
sex
had
with
sex. I have sex with both of them.
with Mr. Morton
And Mrs. Lemon.
and his girlfriend?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Oh, so a threesome at the same time, or you have two separate relationships?
You know, threesome at the same time, separate relationship. If I don't want to have sex with her and I want to have sex with him, that's what happens.
Oh, okay. It just got interesting.
Well, the only reason, Your Honor, the only reason why she was able to have sex with us is because I asked my boyfriend to have sex with her because she was lonely. My desires, me and my little freakiness, I said, my boyfriend, can you have sex with your pregnant baby mother because she's in need?
Pause, Your Honor.
How would she know if
Pause,
she's
Your Honor.
not there?
Your Honor, that is not true. Before I even left to go anywhere, before I was gone for a while, we was having sex before then. She wanted to have sex with me. Your Honor, to be tight, they don't ask her boyfriend nothing. Her boyfriend about it all anyway. He had 2 girlfriends from the beginning.
So that's consensual?
Consensual or not, if I want to have sex with my baby father, Your Honor, it goes down.
Try it now.
It goes down.
Try
It
it
goes
now.
down. I don't want to try
When the last
now.
time
I'm
you
good.
did it?
I'm
When the last
good.
time you did it? When we did it, right?
No.
So ultimately, Ms. Parker, Ms. Lemon, Mr. Morton, you all agree that you were all in a sexual relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you also are in an agreement that there's a possibility that this could be your child?
It could not be my child because the timing is not right at all.
I'm not tripping off of that. I know that that's my son's father. I know. He looks exactly like my other son.
And so you're doubtful, Mr. Morton, because you say there's a timing issue.
Yes, she's
So I wanna
supposed to have got
understand your
pregnant
doubt.
in May, but from my understanding, that's only would be 7 months if she
I
had
never
my son
said I
in.
got pregnant in May, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my calendar so I can just understand what's going on exactly. When were you intimate with Miss Parker during the window?
The week of Mother's Day, May 11th, I believe.
You're intimate that day.
The only intimacy we had on Mother's Day was oral sex, Your Honor. How you gonna get pregnant off of oral sex, Your Honor?
Judge,
When was Aaron born?
December 5th.
So December 5th.
It only added up to about 7 months. Her boyfriend been locked
My
up
due
since
date was-
February,
my due
and
date
that's the
was
guy that she
December.
was
So
telling
the
me
baby
that
was
could have been the
born
father from the
December 5th. So your doubt is that it's only 7 months from when baby Aaron was born to when you were having sex with her, and that doesn't add up to you.
beginning. Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
And Miss Parker, when was the last time you were intimate with someone else before that May 11th period when you were
The
intimate
only
with
person,
Mr.
Your Honor, I lie to you not. The only person that I have unprotected sex with was my baby father. Was Mr.
Your
Morton.
Honor, that's a lie.
Your Honor.
That's a lie.
She clocking my-
We down. Yep, I'm clocking it.
You
Just
can't
like you
clock
clock
it though,
mine. I
baby.
can.
You can't.
We
You
downtown.
can't clock
The guy
it.
walks up to her. They talking and everything, and he swears up and down, Aaron is his. She had to keep reminding him that it's not yours, boo. It's not yours. I had sex with you after he was already in my stomach.
Exactly, I
But
said.
you told
what did
us
I
that
just
you didn't have
say?
sex with nobody
I just
after
said
you
I
got
didn't
pregnant.
have unprotected sex. That's
She all
lie,
over
'cause
the
I was
place, Your
messing-
Honor. That's what
Your
it
Honor,
is.
that's a
She
lie.
was all
Your
over the
Honor,
place.
Your Honor.
Let's get some control. I want to understand this story. Your testimony, Ms. Parker, is that you weren't intimate with anyone else during that time?
I did not have
Unprotected sex.
Yes, that's
Condoms,
what
Your
I
Honor.
said.
Were you having sex with anyone?
Are you serious, Your Honor?
Were you-
Listen. I do what I do. I love me. You understand me? I don't have unprotected sex with nobody but the ones that I trust. I trust this man. So yeah, every time I have sex with him, it's
You
unprotected.
think of me so bad, so you trust me too, right? You think of me so bad, you down to me, but you had sex with me too, so that means you trust me. You like me, right?
Yeah.
You like me,
Oh,
right?
I like the way you do your thing.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I like.
I know.
I like the
That's
way
fine.
you do your thing,
That's
baby.
fine.
That's
I know.
all.
I
That's
know.
all.
I'm about that work. I
Okay,
know.
listen.
You tripping.
Ms. Parker, you stated that you weren't having unprotected sex with anyone else.
Yes.
But you're saying you only have unprotected sex with Mr. Morton.
Yes, Your Honor, yes. Let me explain my side of the story, because I'm trying to,
Yeah.
Before my boyfriend went away, I was pregnant by him. That's what they're getting confused. I had a whole miscarriage, Your Honor. A whole miscarriage by this man.
Now all of a sudden.
I had
So what you're saying is you were pregnant,
before,
but you
like this was before though. This is before I got pregnant
He was only
again.
locked up
You're right.
a
He
month or
wasn't even
something.
away when I was pregnant. He was with me.
So the bottom
when I
line
was
is you
pregnant,
were in
while we
fact
was together.
pregnant by your
him,
boyfriend,
yes, I was.
but you
But I
miscarried.
miscarried.
Listen, Ms. Parker, I'm trying to explain what my understanding is so you can correct me.
Okay.
I was pregnant by my boyfriend,
Right.
yes, but I had a miscarriage.
Exactly.
Subsequently, I got back in a sexual relationship with Mr. Morton, had
Exactly.
unprotected sex, and I was pregnant again.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I wanted to understand.
Yes, Your
now
Honor.
let's move forward. At the point you realize you're pregnant, do
I
you tell Mr. Morton?
Yes, that's
you
what
tell
I'm trying
Mr.
to
Morton?
get to. I told him I was pregnant, and I did. I'm not gonna lie. I told him, this is not your baby. Being as though I have a sonogram telling me I'm 13 weeks. So when I go to my first prenatal appointment and they give me a fetal assessment and they say, no, miss, you're 8 weeks pregnant. Your baby is due December the 24th.
So you went to your appointment and then your due date got adjusted.
Yes.
So initially, when you got pregnant, they gave you a certain due date.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said, based upon that due date,
That
this
he
is
was
not your
not-
child because I was not
Exactly.
sleeping
My
with you
point
then.
exactly.
Then you go, because that's what happens. You go to subsequent appointments as you get further along in your pregnancy. They then gave you another test
Yes, they gave
and
me the
determined,
sonogram.
oh no, the first due date we calculated was wrong.
Exactly.
You're in fact, how many weeks?
8 weeks pregnant.
You're 8 weeks.
I was 8 weeks pregnant when I got that sonogram, and I went home and I gave him the sonogram to let him know we got a baby on the way.
What was your response, Mr. Morton, when she told you we have a baby on the way, they miscalculated my due date, and now I really believe it's your child? What was your response?
I had my doubts because of what she had told me.
You
at
still
first.
had doubts. Did you participate? You have a child with her already. Did you
Yes.
participate in the birth? Were you there through the pregnancy?
I didn't
Were
go
you-
to none of the appointments. I ain't show up to none of the doctor's appointments,
I
but
have
I
a
was
picture.
there with
He's
my
talking about
dad.
evidence.
He's talking about Ern.
I have a picture of him holding my son when he first came out.
Jerome, may I see that, please? So, Mr. Morton, you say that you didn't go to the appointments,
No, ma'am.
but this is a picture of you holding baby Aaron when he was first born.
Yes.
So you went to the hospital when he was first born
Yes, I was there.
to see him.
Yes.
No, he
Did you
was
sign the
He
birth
came out.
certificate?
I seen when he came out.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
No, ma'am, I didn't sign a birth certificate because of my doubts.
What is that evidence you're holding for me?
The birth certificate I didn't sign.
I'd like to see that. So you decided not to sign the birth certificate because you felt like I just have too many doubts. I don't want to do that. Have you been involved with baby Aaron since?
Yes,
You have. So you still have doubts.
I still have doubts.
He got doubts, Your Honor, but he on Facebook, my son.
Hand that to me. What is that, Miss
This
Parker?
is a page from Facebook from off of his page. My son's hands always in the air, but you got so many doubts.
Wait,
This
don't
is a
have it.
That's
picture
what you did.
of baby Aaron from your Facebook page. Mr. Morton, it says, my son's hands are always in the air.
Yeah.
You wrote that.
Yes.
So if you had doubts, why would you post that?
I know this man. You feel me? I know he loved people, kids. I know he loved children. I gave this man his first child. I know this. You understand what
And
I'm
she
saying?
feel like she holds seniority. She
Again,
don't.
Once again,
She
like
don't.
I said,
It don't matter.
like I said,
It don't
I
matter.
know, but like I said, this is not the first situation.
And so
None of that.
listen, this feeling that he steps up to the plate and takes care of other people's children,
Yeah, so
but
why
does
should I-
not properly take care of baby Aaron is the
Exactly.
basis of your suit.
Right.
You're suing for $2,047 in child care expenses, things you've spent on baby Aaron
That's right.
since he's been born.
That's right.
And you say Mr. Morton's done nothing.
Besides $30 and some hand-me-downs.
But in
got a
terms
lot
of
of things
A lot of
that-
hand-me-downs.
contributing to the child care expenses that she has incurred, have you contributed
She
to
probably
anything
wouldn't have
besides
no
the
record of that or
$30?
anything because I never did anything to her but gave her that $30.
That's what I wanted to know. All right, so just the $30. Do you have any receipts from what
Yes,
you
ma'am.
spent,
Yeah.
what you've done? Thank you. Explain to the court, ma'am, the items, things that you've purchased thus far. I see you have diapers,
Baby wipes, bottles, clothes.
formula, toiletries.
Yes, all that. But I've been working almost
Is
a
the
whole
total of
year.
this $2,047?
Yes, ma'am. Minus
Okay,
the $30 that I took
$2,047. Mr. Morton, you acknowledge that all you've done is the $30.
That I put
That
in her
you've
hands.
right,
For
right.
her.
For
It wasn't
these
just the only thing I did for my
$2,047 worth
son,
of
though.
expenses, you've paid 30 of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to rule on this after we get the DNA results because, of course, that will determine whether or not you have a responsibility to care for this child. Ms. Parker, I'd like to hear from your witness before we
ma'am.
get to the results. Ma'am, please stand. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your name, ma'am, stated for the record?
Marie Dunlap.
Ms. Dunlap, you are...
I'm Mr. Morton's mother.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
You're Mr. Morton's mother.
Yes.
What do you have to add, ma'am?
Well, for the most part, as far as support system, when she first had baby Aaron, she did not have anything because we were supposed to try to get together a baby shower. So she did have him early. So as far as support system, it was me and my daughter, which is Eric's sister,
And her
Mr.
mother.
Morton's sister.
And her mother.
And excuse me, I'm talking.
It don't matter.
It does.
It don't.
So therefore,
Did you just let her disrespect your mother?
Yeah, real bad.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I had to catch that.
Come again? Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know why she over there. She don't do nothing. for my
It
grandson,
doesn't
and
matter.
she
It
don't get my
doesn't matter.
grandson
That's
or
still your.
anything.
That's still your mother.
I do get my grandson.
All
I
right,
do
so
get
ma'am,
him.
the bottom line is, you know what about this situation?
Well, as far as them two, to be honest, I really think that they never stopped dealing with each other from time to time. Even when she had the boyfriend, I still believe they were dipping and dabbing because him and the boyfriend had got into it over, I don't know what the altercation was about. But I heard about they had got into it. And then several times they are together.
So it is your belief that baby Aaron is your grandchild?
Yes, that's us all the way.
Have you witnessed your son connect with this child?
Yes,
And you've connected with the child?
yes.
When?
Your family accepts the child without
Yes.
doubt?
We do accept him without a doubt.
Without doubt.
Without a doubt. I don't share his doubts because that's ours. That's
She
a
wouldn't
Morton.
know my doubts, Your Honor. My mother don't know anything about the situation. Every time I try to put her into the situation, she don't want to bother.
Thank you so much for your testimony. You may be seated. Where are we going from here with
Well, I'm
this?
gonna tell you where I'm going from this. When you read them DNA tests and they tell you that that's that man's son, I'm going to child support. That's where I'm going with this. I'm going
That's
straight
exactly what you
downtown. You got me twisted. Come on now.
And so I have to ask this: are you all going to continue to have this unprotected sex?
No
and
sex. No sex, Your Honor. He's good. He's good with his wife. How long that's gonna last? Feel me?
I mean, well, what's the point of you
He's
knocking
good.
what we have?
He's good. He's
I mean,
good.
Ebony.
I'm knocking
Your
it
Honor,
because of the
Your
fact that
Honor,
this is the reason
Your
why
Honor,
my son is
never.
being
First of all,
denied.
this is out of character for me. I have never, ever in a
Right.
million years came at this woman like this. It's one thing when you sitting there stating facts, but it's another thing when you try and degrade me. The reason that I feel the way I feel about her is because we formed a relationship. Her whole pregnancy with Aaron, when she moved to that house, I was right there with her. Every pain, every time my foot got swollen, I wanted to rub it. I took care of her to support her and to show her that she wasn't alone. I didn't care what my boyfriend did. If he didn't want to be a part of her life, a part of Aaron's life, if he denied him, if he felt anyway, I ignored that and I still played a role. I'm a very loving person. I'm a very honest person.
Please
I've
bring her
never
up because
done
I wanna have
anything
sex
to
with
her,
her.
and I have
I
never
would have
told him
sex
not
with your
one
baby
time,
mama.
Your
That's
Honor,
what it
to
was about.
deny him. She's
Right,
sitting here
and
trying to make me load
listen.
on it, and that's not the case. I would never do nothing like that to her.
And listen, I think before I go to the results, I just need to ask the question: are you two finished? Because it's become obvious that we're talking about the relationship between you and Mr. Morton, and yet there is still a relationship between you and Ms. Lemon that has a lot of unfinished workings. It's a lot going on here. Let's get to the results.
Please, Your Honor. Please.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Parker versus Morton, when it comes to 7-month-old Aaron Morton, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Morton, you are Aaron's father.
Thank you. I told you, like, I'm not no, come on. Thank you. I need that paper so I can go down child support tomorrow morning when I get up.
Ms. Parker, you came to court with a suit in the amount of $2,047. Mr. Morton is, in fact, baby Aaron's biological father, which means you are legally obligated to care for that child, and Ms. Parker is entitled to half of the child care expenses she has incurred thus far. You admit you contributed $30, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You came in suing for $2,047. Half of that is $1,023.50, less the $30 you contributed. So therefore, my ruling is for the plaintiff in the amount of $993.50. Is that clear?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Honor.
I feel like you two agreed to bring Ms. Parker into your relationship, and now it seems like Ms. Lemon and Ms. Parker got more unfinished business than Mr. Morton and Ms. Parker, and they got 2 babies together. A relationship with 2 people is difficult enough to manage. Bring a third in, now you really got a mess that's magnified. Mr. and Ms. Elston, you previously appeared in this courtroom with concerns surrounding the paternity of 2-year-old Carson. Let's take a look.
We started sleeping together 2 weeks after we met.
Well, who else did you have sex with?
My friend's boyfriend. It was on Valentine's Day. We had a threesome. She knew about it.
The baby didn't look like me. He don't have my nose, my ears, my eyes, or nothing.
My unborn child and Carson deserves their father. So I feel that we need to get this all cleared up.
When it comes to 20-month-old Carson Gregory, Mr. Elston, you are not the father. Ms. Elston, you are now here hoping to save your marriage by proving your husband is the biological father of your newborn son, Kason. Mr. Elston, you recently moved out of your home due to paternity doubts, and you are convinced you are not Kason's father either. Ms. Elston, I'll start with you. You're in desperate need to save your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
Because Ladarian moved out like shortly after Kason was born. He's been having paternity issues since we found out Carson was not his. He started saying that this baby doesn't look like me, he's not mine, and questions about the conception, and he wants to leave his family all of a sudden just because of paternity issues pertaining to Carson.
Wow, it has really taken a turn for the worse.
Yeah.
Mr. Elston, you felt like you had no other choice but to leave the home?
Yes, Your Honor, because I can't keep, going through the same cycle with babies not being mine with the same person. And when Carson came back not mine, it did, it hurt my feelings, but I still stepped up and was a father to him. So I'm just trying to get the honest truth today before I, move on.
So how does this doubt make you feel? I mean, you've packed up and moved out of your own home, left your wife, Carson, Kason. I mean, how do you feel when you look at this baby?
I mean, I don't have a bond with him, and I don't feel like he's mine. They look alike to me, so they must have the same father. And the baby names are, identical, and it's something here that she's not telling me. So
We agreed on the name. I tried changing it plenty of times.
No, Your
He
Honor,
told me he didn't want to change it.
No, her friend chose the name, Your Honor.
So the truth is, even the name triggers you.
Yes,
because it's so close to Carson, Kason. Then you look at them, you think they look alike in your mind, and then you just revisit what you went through the last time you were here when we determined you were not Carson's biological father.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mrs. Elston, how does your husband's doubt affect you and the family?
It's affected us a lot because we're arguing because you already know Carson is not yours, which you stepped up, and I'm glad. So I don't understand how you think Kason is not yours.
So, Mr. Elston, what was your initial doubt? How did you start doubting?
Well, Your Honor, when I was at work, I was 3 hours away. She texted me talking about she pregnant. So I was like, I can't leave work just to take you to the hospital. So she said, I'll call my cousin and see if he can take me. So when I get home, like, we just started arguing because I told her this just don't seem right. And she was like, that wasn't even my cousin that took me to the hospital anyways, it was my ex. So.
No, Your Honor, that's not what happened. What happened was he was at work, so I had a friend come get me. But we already had, issues from the past of me cheating and all this stuff. So I didn't tell him, it was my ex because I didn't want him thinking I was sleeping with him or anything. I told him, I was like, well, that was not my cousin that took me. It was a friend. And he asked who, and I told him who it was, and I was honest about it. I just did not want no problems in our relationship at that point.
So you felt like you were just being honest?
Yeah, at the end.
Well,
at first, I wasn't.
She could have told me that in the beginning instead of hiding it from me.
Oh, so she hid it at first.
Yeah, I'm not finna keep doing this.
Ah. So throughout the pregnancy, were you doubting then?
Yes, ma'am, because one day we got the argument bad and I left the house and she texted me and she was like, that's why Carson wasn't yours, Cason's not yours either. And she said, I married you just so I could put you on child support, just in case you tried to leave me. And, we're separated now and, I'm trying to file for a divorce, so.
Really? I know we're separated when you come over the house every day.
I have.
Do you have
proof
any
of the text
evidence of what?
messages.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, will you hand me that evidence, please? Thank you.
You're welcome.
These are text messages between you, Mr. Elston, and your wife, Ms. Elston. You write, why do you say that, Carly? She responds, he's not even your baby, just like Carson wasn't. Whoa. Mr. Elston, you say, blank, then don't ask me to do nothing for them. Ms. Elston, you say, okay, bet, Ladarian. Stop texting me and go play dad to somebody else's kids, because mine's not yours. Whoa, that's a mouthful right there. Ms. Elston, how could you expect him to think Cason was his biological son after that exchange?
I just know how to push his buttons. Like, I wasn't trying to, I already know what to say to him. He had stayed gone the whole night, and he was out cheating and doing him, and he wants to sit up and say that Cason is not his, but.
So you just said it this one time out of anger, you were just really angry.
It happened multiple times, so this is not the first.
I said it 3 times in my pregnancy, yes.
Well, Mr. Elston, you submitted another text message. Ms. Elston said, Cason is not yours anyways. I blanked your homeboy. Mr. Elston said, blank, you dirty dog. And then Ms. Elston responded, I'ma still put you on child support because we married. That's the only reason I married you, blank. What kind of conversation is this?
I know how to push his buttons. I know how to make him mad. So that's what I was saying.
This is not button pushing, this is bomb dropping.
Yeah.
I mean, these exchanges are designed to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
You already said you had one child that was his, came back not his. Now you doing this again?
Yes.
This is toxic. Yes. So if you're so quick to say he's not yours, that's what I'm gonna do is just put you on child support. And why do you stand here so convinced that he is Cason's biological father?
When I got pregnant with Carson, I was not in a relationship with Ladarian, and we already, established that on the last time we was here. This time we was engaged, we was living together, and that's the only person I was with when I conceived Cason. So I'm pretty sure I'm actually 100% positive.
She was sleeping with other guys.
He is the dad.
She was sleeping with other guys. She conceived, she got pregnant in June and she was sleeping with him in May. So she admitted to my friend that she was cheating too, so.
She admitted to a friend
Yes, ma'am. My friend came to the house one weekend. It's a female. And she pulled me downstairs when Carly was asleep and told me that Carly had vented to her that she's been cheating, she's been, going to see other people, and she
Your
said
Honor,
she knows
this is the
Carly.
same friend that he's sleeping with. So no, she wants to break us up. So she wants to break us up, and the only reason she's here today is because she wants to say that that he's not the dad and all this stuff, which she doesn't know nothing about.
All right, I would like to hear from her directly.
I
Jerome,
would
will you
too.
please escort Miss Stanfield into the courtroom?
Go right up to the witness stand up here.
Miss Stanfield, thank you for joining us.
Yes, ma'am.
We're here today talking about the paternity of baby Kaysen. During the testimony, it has been brought out that you potentially have a sexual relationship with Mr. Elston now.
No, Your Honor.
A married man.
You deny that?
I have not spoke to either one of them other
But
than
you
to
were sleeping
argue.
with him a week ago. Girl, bye.
This was 2 weeks ago when
A
you
married
invited
man.
me over there
I didn't
knowing
invite you
he wanted to
nowhere.
sleep with me. You
No, I did
invited
not
me.
know this. No, this is
See,
a
I
whole
don't know
lie.
what to believe. They're going back and forth, and it's...
So, Miss Stanfield, what do you know about the paternity of Kaysen?
From what I have heard from both of them, Carly admitting to me that she was
You don't know.
sleeping...
You have not said nothing to you. Be real.
Admitting to me
Be
that
real.
she was sleeping with other men around the time that she got pregnant, that her and Ladarian were not together.
Wait a minute. Tell me specifically what happened and what did she tell you?
The day that I arrived at their house to spend the weekend with them, Ladarian had left because they were already arguing. She started talking to me saying he's just a dog, he doesn't do anything for her or the kids, that she was sleeping with other men, that she...
You just want to break up our relationship. He does do for me and my kids. Stop lying.
I don't want anything to do with you guys.
Stop lying.
So wait, answer my question.
You was just okay.
Answer my question. I asked, what do you know about this? What did she tell you?
Basically saying that Kaysen was not Ladarian's, that she was sleeping with other men, that Ladarian and Kaysen looked nothing alike, just saying that...
They look just alike, you know that. Look
No,
at
they don't. Every time that you would ask me, I admitted that Kaysen looked just like you.
What did you do with this information, Miss Stanfield?
I told Ladarian.
She just wants to break us up because the wants to come and get what I have. You have no car, you have no house, you're homeless. Baby, stay where you're at. He pays all my bills, and the car that y'all was in was mine. Remember that. Remember that. You're just, no.
Are you proving something?
No, she's trying to lie and break up us. Like, I already told you I want my family back. She's over here trying to tell him that my son is not his. I know my son is his. I'm 100% positive.
Ladarian even told me he didn't believe
But
that it was
he's
your
moved
kid.
out of the house.
He still comes over every day.
And you've also told him he's not the father.
Because I was making him mad. I know how to push his buttons, as I said before. But he will go and be with like this and then come back to me and act like everything is okay. That's the problem. Like this is the problem. Our son is his. I'm 100% positive.
No, Miss Elston, I hate to break it to you, but the problem is you already had one child and you told him he was the father only to come to this courtroom and find out that he wasn't. That's the problem. And then you have a second child, and instead of having enough sense to figure out another way to have a conversation, you go right for the low blow and say you're not the father and I slept with your boy and now I'm just gonna put you on child support and then expect that that's not going to negatively affect your marriage and your relationship. Because what I read on these text messages amounts to emotional abuse. He already hung in there after last hearing when Carson ended up not being his son and said he was gonna step up to the plate. Now, and look, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. He's a young, handsome young guy. That baby wasn't his. He could have exited stage left and been gone and made a full-on family with somebody else. I mean, there's no reason for him to entertain you unless he loved you. You all just sabotaging your life so early. We got another baby now and a marriage on the line. Baby's last name is Elston. That's your family name. That's your name, Mr. Elston. But you don't know if it's yours.
That's correct.
You know what, Jerome? I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Elston versus Elston, when it comes to 1-month-old Kason Elston, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Elston, you are the father. Kason is your little boy.
But I still treat Carson like he's mine too, so I don't show him no different attention.
Yeah, you're doing an amazing job, and thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's good, honey. That's a good start.
I accept your apology, but there's some things we gotta work on.
We can't wrap it up in a bow today. That's for sure. It's been too much water under this bridge. Y'all gonna float the whole house away. No, really. And I hope this has been a lesson learned for you. We have counseling and resources for you all because you all gotta start figuring this out. Miss Elston, you gotta get yourself together, babe.